that actually fits into this story. It's fair trade movement in the Netherlands. Um, Fair trade is a like a store that's run by volunteers. It started very small, and in Amsterdam, Utrecht, the bigger cities in the Netherlands, they had this fair trade shop. And what they did is they got products from third world countries, they put them there, and they sold them for kind of premium price. Yeah, they gave that better price to the third world producer. So that's the idea. So give a fair price to the third world producer. They also sold coffee, and coffee, it had a specific brand, fair trade coffee, um, and it was just sold in that market, and people paid more, even though the coffee was not significantly tasted better, but they paid more because it was fair trade and it made people feel good about themselves. And this was very minor, and of course, as you might guess, it mainly attracted the richer people. But
Imported from third world.
it's important for the third world. What happened is that actually it was a steady movement. And there was one supermarket who said, "Okay, I will put some of this fair trade coffee in my assortment." And lo and behold, actually, once it was in the supermarket, it got a steady market share. Not that big, but people were asking for this coffee. And because only that supermarket carried it, people actually who were first going to that store were going to the supermarket to buy that coffee. Other brands thought, hey, there is a market here, and they also were getting into this fair trade coffee. Today, in the Netherlands, I don't think you can get non-fair trade coffee anymore. It's the only coffee available in the Netherlands because the consumer wanted it, because it made them feel good about themselves. And they were aware of it because it had this brand, and they were drinking that coffee and they were doing the responsible thing. And that's why it changed completely. So it was a consumer awareness. So people are not only driven by,
I think
with the onion lady, was that she had to compete with onions who were produced in the Netherlands, who were overproduced, were basically dumped on that market. So this was not a fair competition in the sense that basically we're just dumping our overproduction on their market. That's how the reality of the global economy.
Okay.
So China is dumping steel, Netherlands are dumping onions everywhere. People are overproducing. The United States is dying because they're also overproducing a lot of food.
So current free trade issue mainly based on the overproducing of the product.
We are not like that, but one example is used clothes from Europe to Africa. Used clothes. This is just used clothes. So Africa, many countries cannot start clothes manufacturing because used clothes is free shipping from Europe to Africa. They are selling free. Huge lot of all used clothes.
Uno-san, you are creating such a beautiful bridge to my next video.
What is that? What is that?
The negative impact of foreign aid.
Oh, negative impact.
Right. It's. I think it's 10 minutes. Can I show it?
Yeah. He said, accountability revolution. What does it mean?
Devolution.
Devolution.
Devolution. So it reduces accountability. Whatever you get for free, whatever you don't value, right? So even though money you got for free, money is money. You can pay anything with it. But in the human psychology, money you get for free is not equalized with the money that you had to work for example. So what he's saying is that through development aid, we basically give away money for free. That money is not valued equal from the money that they would if it would come from taxes. So if a highway is built in Kenya, for example, and that highway has been financed through EU. Let's say the EU financed this highway. There would be a different perception about what standards this highway should be conformed to, compared to if that highway was financed through tax income. So what he's saying is that people in Kenya would demand accountability, would demand a high quality infrastructure if they would be paying for their infrastructure with their own money, with their own tax money. So they would actually make these presidents, these governments, more accountable and insist on good quality. Our aid system at the moment basically gives away these things. Why do so many development projects fail? Because people who receive this money, they put it in a different bracket. They do not expect anything from it because it's not their money. So if it doesn't live up, well, it doesn't matter because we didn't pay for it in the first place. So basically what it does, it makes people in developing world less demanding. Thereby they keep their bribes. They accept all kinds of things. Like the example for Zuma. Why are you not getting more angry? Because it's not my money. So
Why they're thinking about taxes, their money. Taxes,
because taxes basically if you pay tax, it feels like you are paying for it, right?
Yeah.
So you want something in return. You're not going to pay taxes and accept that you can't go to a hospital, or you can't use public transportation or things like that. You demand a service in return. That's why you pay taxes. You demand that there is police, there is safety, there's education, there's healthcare. You paid for it, so you demand that in return. But if that money, if you don't feel that is your money, what could you ask for it? So people in developing nations, they are actually holding their governments less accountable because their government didn't pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a lot of sense, but I thought, wow, this is eye-opening, at least to me.
Yeah. So Africa is a lot of money donated by Europe,
Yes.
but they just
Well, I worked on a lot of development projects, and I noticed time and time again that people didn't really care about the product that we left behind.
yeah.
I told you the story that I had to work on Christmas because a Japanese consultant came into to Bangladesh. No, it was not. Yeah, it was. Well, Bangladesh or Lesotho. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Developing country. I think it was the Bangladesh. Yeah, because it was a Muslim country. They came into Bangladesh on Christmas. At Christmas. And he called me up. I said, "You got to do something. The weather system has stopped working. It's not working. So you got to fix it right now." So, it's Christmas. How am I going to get all the people to work? But okay, so we started working, and what we figured out is that it hadn't stopped working on that day. It hadn't been receiving any data for 3 months already. So how come that nobody actually raised any?
Watch it.
Because nobody uses it. The Japanese government had put millions of dollars into that project. Millions, literally millions of dollars, and they were not using it in Bangladesh. We delivered the system, and they just kept on using their own system after we left.
Nobody recognized.
Nobody recognized. The problem what was the problem? They forgot to pay their SMS bill. That because of poor infrastructure, we used SMS technology to send weather data from weather stations to a central collection point. They didn't pay for their SMS bundle. The government didn't, and data stopped coming in. But nobody raised a voice. They didn't pay for it, so they didn't really feel it was a problem.
What is the original question?
Was for free. You asked something about for free. 何だったっけ? What was the original question?
This one?
You?
This one.
So we were talking about
Negative impact of foreign aid.
we were talking about
Foreign aid.
Foreign aid, but
It's a subsidy.
right. Yeah.
Subsidy.
So for what was the question? We were talking about giving something for
Subsidy.
for free. Yeah, for subsidizing these things. So allowing just giving away things, subsidizing it takes away the people. They don't feel that they themselves paid for it. So they're not asking anything in return. So it's ineffective.
Really?
Very ineffective. I thought it was